All right. Let's go ahead and animate a submachine gun today. That should be pretty fun.
Of course, a submachine gun. I can see fire, fire, and then I can shoot, let's say, this barrel and fire.
All right, first thing we want to do is run over this awesome website at filebase.gamedevhq.com, and we're going to go ahead and grab the MP5. Looks freaking beautiful. We're going to drop that into our scene. Let's go ahead and create a parent object above it, and that's going to be the MP5's position. Then we're going to go ahead and set our MP5 down. We're going to scale it and adjust it so that it sits in the hand of our character. Next thing we want to do is go ahead and grab those smoke and muzzle flashes that we've done in prior tutorials. And we're going to just adjust the rotations and the positions so that the flash sits right where it's supposed to when you are shooting the gun. Now, we're definitely not going to make sure that this stays looping and play on awake. We want to just turn it on when we do fire. Same thing with the flash that's up close to the player. So when we do shoot, we get the spray of smoke and the muzzle flash that's in our face. We'll also drop another smoke, and we're going to get a point light. Let's set that point light to be pretty warm and change the range so whenever we do shoot it, we get a flash. Next, we're going to create a shell casing. So we're going to create an empty game object, stick a particle system on there, and then we're just going to point the particle system to the top right. Then in the renderer, we're going to swap render mode to mesh, and we're going to grab a shell casing in the material. And so now instead of firing the particles, we're actually going to fire the shell casings out as particles. Now we're going to place those right where the ejector area is, and we're also going to adjust the rotation on start so that it rotates toward a flat surface. We'll probably also want to make sure that for our when it does flip out, it does flip in the world mode and not in the view mode as well. We're also going to add some gravity to it so that the bullets fall down in the gravity modifier, and we're going to adjust the start size so they're not so big, and we also want them to bounce. So we're going to turn on collision and set it to world, and we're going to set the collision down to like 0.3, and we also want to dampen the speed. So we're going to set that to like, 0.3 or 0.2 so that it slows down as the shells land. The other thing we want to do is decrease the lifetime of this so there's not so many. And also we want to do a little rotation over life so that it looks a little more random when they fall out. Next, we want to make sure we change this from a steady emission to a count. So we're going to do a burst, and every time we shoot, we're going to eject one shell. Now we're going to go ahead and create an MP5 attack script, and we're also going to create an animation for this MP5. So we're going to set this on the parent, and then we're going to create a new animation called Fire MP5. And when we attach this, it's going to add an animator, and in it we're going to automatically have the MP5 attack on there, but we actually want to set our default layer to kind of like an empty, and in any state when we do a trigger called fire, we're going to run the fire MP5, and then that's going to go to the empty idle. So we need to create a trigger. This trigger is going to be called fire, and then we're going to make sure that we turn off any type of transition in the settings to 0, so it goes from the complete animation and there's no blending in between. We also got to make sure that with the any state, the fire trigger is set for that to work. Next thing we're going to go do is go to our Fire MP5 animation. And you're actually going to want to set this on the geometry underneath, not the parent object. You want to set it as the child object, the geometry. And you're going to do a slight rotation. We're also going to turn on the enable disable of the gun itself. And then once we do that and keyframe that all, in our script, we're going to want to go ahead and grab the animator of this gun. On start, we're going to need to do a get component, and we need to grab that animator. And just as a test, we want to check to see if this actually works. So we're going to do a quick get key code down, which is the mouse button. And when we do that, we're going to set the trigger to fire. And then we also want to grab a couple other things. We need to get all the particle systems, such as the muzzle flashes 1 and 2, the smoke, and the shell casings. And when we do declare these, we also want to, in our update, when we do fire, we need to just put a play to every single one of those so that the particle system knows, hey, play the muzzle flash when I fire. Play the smoke, play the particles, play all the good stuff. So we're going to set that all up next. Now we want to go ahead and enhance this some more. So we want to create a Unity event that's going to go ahead and talk to our raycast system. So when we do fire, we invoke that raycast and shoot out a raycast from our gun. We also want to add camera shake, and we also want to add a sound effect to it using our audio managers. So once those are connected, we have a very operational tool. Now I'm going to try to connect this to my inventory system. So once you connect in here to the inventory system and you check if you're reloading and are you firing, then I'm going to check to see if in my player manager, do I have any ammo for slot 5 available? If I do, I'm going to be able to shoot that ammo. And if I don't have any ammo, I'm going to do a clicking noise, kind of like I can't shoot anything, and I got to also make sure I stop the routine and set this firing to false. Now, to make sure that you don't get an endless loop, you actually got to drop in a check to see if you pull up on your gun, then you're going to stop shooting. You're going to stop shooting everything. And so we got to make sure we do a check of when the left mouse button goes up, you got to stop. Then we're also going to create a reload check, and now we also got to set our firing automatic, and if we are firing, if we check the ammo in slot 5 and we do have that, we're going to fire the gun, and then we're going to take the ammo out of the gun. And this is part of the coroutine that's going to allow us to do that automatic shoot. And then we're going to go ahead and play this weapon clip if we don't have it, and we're also going to make sure that we repeat this while it's true and the button's held down every 0.15 frames per second. Then we're going to do a reload routine where we're just going to check the reload. I also want to connect to our player to make sure we can actually run the reload animation when we do have to reload our gun. And when we do reload, we run the animation, we wait for 1.4 seconds, and then reload is turned off to false. Click, 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 all out. We can go reload by pressing R. Right now, that's why it's still new to coding. Feel like those tutorials are speaking an alien language? Yeah, we've been there. That's why we built Game Dev HQ, a place where you can actually learn by building. Our monthly membership gives you access to 900 plus hours of hands-on training from 2D to 3D to VR, AR, first-person, and third-person games. Plus, you'll get our 12,000 game asset library, daily check-ins, one-on-one tech support, and live workshops 6 days a week where we'll cover the stuff that you want to learn. We're not just developers, we're gamers too, and we love helping people like you turn that first line of code into something awesome. Come hang out with us and let's build something together. Check us out at GameDevHQ.com.